I love, technically true, jokes, like, if everybody in the world held hands around the equator, most of them would drown. Or did you know that after all these years, the swimming pool on Titanic is still filled with water? Or there are more airplanes in the ocean than submarines in the sky. What else you got? It doesn't have to be water related. My girlfriend dressed up as a policewoman and told me I was under arrest for suspicion of being good in bed. After 2 minutes, all charges were dropped due to lack of evidence. What Asian stereotype do you hear the most? Personally, I've got a Yamaha surround sound system. I just watched a documentary on marijuana. I think all documentaries should be watched this way. Why are gay men so stylish? You spend enough time in the closet, you ought to find something good. I think my girlfriend's a secret drug dealer. I just answered her phone, and this man said, "Is that dope still there?" Why are the pyramids in Egypt? Because they are too big to transport to British museums. Why do depressed people give the best head? Because they don't care about breathing anymore. Edit, sheesh. Tough crowd. I saw my ex-girlfriend at the other end of the museum hall, but I was too self-conscious to say hello. There was too much history between us. Clark Kent was lying in his deathbed with his wife Lois Lane beside him. After some time, Lois said, "Darling, I have to confess something. Years ago, I had an affair with Superman. It was only one night, but I've regretted it ever since. I hope you can forgive me. You don't need to worry about that because," Clark said as he took off his glasses, "I am Superman. Even if you didn't know it was me, in my eyes you were always faithful." "Oh, thank God," said Lois. "I can't tell you what a weight that is off my chest." "Glad we cleared that up," said Clark. "So I guess this means you were Batman too." 2 men broke into a drugstore and stole all the Viagra. The authorities put out an alert to be on the lookout for the 2 hardened criminals. Edit. They say don't edit the post to thank PPL for upvoting, it's cringe, TBH I tried to but it was very hard, so thanks for 500 upvotes. A man and his wife are having trouble with their ex-life. So the man goes to the new ex-toy shop, walks up to the counter and explains his situation. The clerk says, "I've got just the thing for you, it's called Magic Enos," and retrieves it from the shelf behind him. Man, how does it work? Clerk, I'll show you. Magic Enos, counter. Magic Enos flips out and starts slipping all around the counter. Man, wow. That's great, I'll take it. The man goes home and shows his wife. Man, honey, I got something that will help us in the bedroom. It's called Magic Enos. Wife, okay, how does it work? Man, I'll show you. Magic Enos, table. Magic Enos starts slipping around the table. The wife gets excited. The next day, the man gets to work and the wife stays home. She starts to get ready. Wife, Magic Enos, ussy. The Magic Enos goes to work and she has the time of her life and has *RGASM after *RGASM, but she doesn't know how to stop it or turn it off. So she gets into the car and starts driving hospital and starts to speed. A cop pulls her over, walks up to the car and says, "Why were you going too fast?" Wife, I can explain. Cop, well let me hear it. Wife, I have this Magic Enos. Cop, Magic Enos my *SS. Heisenberg, Schrödinger, and Ohm are on a road trip. Heisenberg, Schrödinger, and Ohm are on a road trip, and they get pulled over. Heisenberg is driving and the cop asks him, "Do you know how fast you were going?" "No, but I know exactly where I am." Heisenberg replies. The cop says, "You were going 80 miles an hour. Heisenberg throws up his hands and shouts, "Great, now I'm lost." The cop thinks this is suspicious and orders him to pop open the trunk. He checks it out and says, "Do you know you have a dead cat back here?" "We do now, SS hole," shouts Schrödinger. The cop tries to arrest them. Ohm resists. There were 2 white Christian men, Adam and Jack, whose plane crashed into a desert. Luckily they survived unharmed. As they traveled through the hot desert looking for food and water, they gave up and sat down, thinking of what to do. As the dust in the air settled, they suddenly could view a mosque ahead. They became very hopeful. But then Adam said, "Muslims are there. They might help us if we say we are Muslim." Then Jack said, "No way, I won't say I'm Muslim, I'm gonna be honest." So Adam and Jack went to the mosque ahead and we were greeted by an Arab Muslim, who asked what their names were. Adam thought of a Muslim name and said, "My name is Muhammad." And Jack said, "My name is Jack." The Arab man said, "Hello Jack," and told these other men to take Jack and give him food and drink. Then he turned to Adam and said, "Salam Muhammad. Ramadan Mubarak." "Hello Muhammad, happy Ramadan." A 3rd grade teacher had her students ask their parents to tell them a story with a moral for their homework one day. The next day, the kids came back and one by one, began to tell their stories. But then the teacher realized that only Katie was left. "Katie, do you have a story to share?" "Yes ma'am. My daddy told me a story about my mom." "Okay, let's hear it," said the teacher. "My mom was a Marine pilot in Iraq and her plane got hit. She had to bail out over enemy territory and all she had was a flask of whiskey, a pistol, and a survival knife. She drank the whiskey on the way down so the bottle wouldn't break and then her parachute landed her right in the middle of 20 enemy fighters. She shot 15 of them with the pistol, until she ran out of bullets, killed 4 more with the knife, till the blade broke, and then she killed the Listone with her bare hands. "Oh my," said the horrified teacher. "What did your daddy tell you was the moral to this story? Stay away from mommy when she's drunk." On the first day of my flying lessons, I looked down nervously and asked my instructor, "What are all these buttons for?" He explained calmly, "Those are to keep your shirt closed. I gave a woman my umbrella yesterday. That brings the total number of women I've made wet this year to -1. An old fellow walking down the road and sees a frog sitting in the grass. The frog says, "Hey there, if you kiss me I will turn into a beautiful woman for ya." The old man picks up the frog and puts it in his shirt pocket and keeps on down the road. About a mile down the road the frog looks up at him and says, "Aren't you going to kiss me?" The old man says, "No, I don't think so." The frog says, "Don't you want a beautiful woman?" The old man responds, "At my age I would rather be a talking frog. When I was young, there were only 25 letters in the alphabet." Nobody knew why. Einstein, Newton and Pascal play hide and seek together. Einstein, Newton and Pascal play hide and seek together. It's Einstein's turn to count, and he closes his eyes. After counting to 10, Pascal runs away and hides. Newton, on the other hand, very calmly draws a square on the ground, 1 meter on each side, in front of the place that Einstein counted, and goes to the middle of it and starts to wait. When Einstein reaches 10, he opens his eyes and immediately says, "Newton, I found you." He shouts. Newton smiles and says calmly, "You didn't find me, you found Newton per square meter. So you found Pascal." Superman is taking an evening stroll past the church when the minister runs down the steps calling for his help. "Superman, we need your help. A wall has collapsed in the basement. Some workmen are trapped," says the minister. "No way," said Superman, "I'm not going near the crypt tonight. My wife threatened to leave me due to my obsession with the monkeys. I didn't think she was serious. And then I saw her face. My wife was very disappointed when I told her that I got 'I love you' tattooed on my anus. She just shook her head and said, 'There you go again, always trying to put words in my mouth.' My friend just gave me a presentation on why I should invest in his sword-making business. He made some excellent points. Did you hear about the sad life of Enos? His whole family is nuts, his next-door neighbor Isan SS Hole, his best friend is A. Astroscasi, and his owner beats him. A chemist froze himself at -273.15 degrees Celsius, everyone said he was crazy. He was 0K. Thieves broke into my shop and stole 15 cases of Red Bull. I don't know how these people sleep at night. What's the difference between an Indian and an African elephant? One of them is an elephant. My wife was just in a minor accident. She's told the police that the man she hit was on his phone and drinking a Coke at the time. But they keep going on about how he can do what he wants in his own living room. Doctor, I think the patient is dying. What's his blood type? Nurse, B positive. Doctor, okay. I think the patient is going to make it. A workman is 5 floors up at a construction site and realizes he forgot his hammer. He leans over the edge of the building and sees his friend on the ground floor. He shouts down to him, "Hey buddy, I need my hammer." His friend looks up but motions to his ears that he can't hear him. The workman, thinking quickly, decides to sign out what he wants. He points to his eye for I, his knee for need, and then makes a hand motion for his hammer. His friend on the ground floor squints up, and then unzips his pants and starts furiously masturbating. The workman, shocked, runs down the 5 flights of stairs to his friend. "Hey buddy," he says, "I was trying to tell you that I need my hammer." "What the hell are you doing?" "I know," says his friend. "I was telling you that I'm coming." Nobody upvotes a cake joke on cake days anymore. Feeling deserted. If a blind girl says you have a big illy, she's probably just pulling your leg. What's the best drug to have X on? Birth control. A black piece of asphalt walks into a bar. A black piece of asphalt walks into a bar and slams his fist down on the bar loudly proclaiming, "I demand a free drink because I'm the toughest other fucker in here." The barman, not wanting any trouble, hands the piece of asphalt a beer. About 20 minutes pass when another piece of asphalt walks in. This one is green with some white painted circles and lines visible on it. He also slams fist down on the bar proclaiming even more loudly, "I demand a free drink because I'm the TOUGHESTOTHERFUCKER in here." The barman, expecting trouble from the 2 pieces of asphalt, moves quickly to get between them, but the first one has now disappeared. So he serves the new one a drink because he doesn't want any trouble. Shortly afterwards the barman goes to the back to grab a bottle of something he ran out of. He sees the original piece of asphalt hiding back there shaking because he's so terrified. The barman asks, "What's this all about?" The black asphalt quickly answers, "I'm a tough other fucker, but that guy's a fucking psychopath." Comment from you, The Rob Show, but I had to share. 3.